Hello and welcome into today's edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks and I will be joining you today as I have every day for the last month and a half and every day moving forward. I am the lead beat writer for Arizona State Sun Devils on SI. If you were not aware already, I'm so excited for the football season to get going. Under 2 months away from kickoff on August 30th against the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks. Uh, it's an exciting time to be an Arizona State fan. Really, it truly is. Probably going to be in the top 15 of the preseason AP poll. Presumed favorites in the Big 12, despite the Big 12 conference getting rid of the preseason poll that was previously done on a yearly basis at media days. Uh, Probably going to have as many as 10 players that are represented on the all Big 12 preseason teams. So we all know this roster is chock full of talent. There's the continuity. 17 starters returned from last season across both sides of the ball. Every single position coach, along with Marcus Arroyo and Brian Ward, are returning as well. Um, that's just something that is invaluable. And when the talent that's returning is as good as it is, Xavier Alford, Sam Levitt, uh, Jordan Tyson, CJ Fight, that's a recipe for success. And even though the Big 12 might be a tad more difficult than last season, you have teams like Baylor, TCU, Utah looking to take a step forward after having some struggles during various parts of their seasons last year. Arizona State still is in the pole position to win the Big 12, I think, according to most people, honestly. And I am so honored to be with you through all of it. Uh, Once again, please follow me on X/Twitter at khicks_21 if you get the opportunity to do so. That will be where most of my content is being posted and platformed on. So, yeah, just wanted to bring that up once again before we get started on today's episode. So, for today's episode, I actually wanted to talk about a piece that our own Caleb Sisk came out with today that was regarding players 2026 recruits that Arizona State lost out on in the month of June and why they are significant. All right. So, as we know, Arizona State has built up solid momentum in the 2026 recruiting class under Kenny Dillingham. This will be the fourth class that Dillingham has presided over, and they already have some key commitments such as El Paso four-star quarterback Jake Fede, uh, Julian Hugo, very standout, stout defensive lineman out of San Antonio, Texas. Yep, and yeah, the recruiting class is shaking out to be one of the best in the Big 12. They have lost a little bit of momentum, but it's okay. So let's take a look at these recruits that Arizona State has lost out on. So Landon Barnes committed to Ole Miss. So let's see what Caleb has to say. The Arizona State Sun Devils were hopeful to land Barnes, but that was not the case as the four-star prospect committed to the Ole Miss Rebels instead of the Sun Devils. The Sun Devils hosted him in April, which could be a major reason on why he committed to the Rebels after holding off a commitment decision. So obviously, stars are really just a symbolic gesture. They really don't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. It's really how the coaching staff attacks developing a player. Uh, it really depends on situations. There's a lot of factors that go into how good a player can be ceiling wise in college. And 4 or 5 stars are important to gather, but it's not the end all be all. Um, it's a tough losing out on him, but there will be many more opportunities, I believe, in the upcoming season, especially as players see that the success that has been built is truly sustainable for the Sun Devils. So we'll see how that progresses. So Nayland Scott, as you all know, uh, considered a 3-star to some, 4-star to others. He was committed to Arizona State, but he flipped his commitment to Nebraska out of nowhere. That was something that became anticipated in the early parts of last week. that he was going to flip his commitment, and he did just that. It's a big loss for the Sun Devils, but once again, it's not the end all be all. Arizona State has some significant capital in the wide receiver room when it comes to the future, and Zechariah Sample, Uriah Nellums, other underrated receivers. And there's always a chance they get a stud in the transfer portal. There's always a chance that they strike gold in the 2026 class moving forward ahead of National Signing Day. So Dre Pollard and Famitio Ciale committed to Washington and Michigan State respectively. Um, both of them likely made decisions based off of the timing of their visits once again. So that's just something that the Sun Devils really couldn't control, and you can't really get too bent out of shape out over that. Um, Mason James committed to Washington as well. He was another player that Arizona State was going head to head with Washington over and lost. Jedd Fisch strikes once again when competing with Arizona State, and that's just something that Arizona State fans can have a good laugh over. Because don't get me wrong, Jedd Fisch is a great coach, but when you look at the track record of player development at Arizona State versus Jedd Fisch's teams over recent years, there's really not a it's really not a competition. Tedero McMillan is about the only high level player that has come out of the Arizona program or the Washington program when Jedd Fisch has been there. So it is what it is. Dalen Sharper, the son of Darren Sharper, the New Orleans Saints safety, goes to Brophy Prep alongside Devin Fitzgerald. He committed to Stanford last month. Uh, Another unfortunate incident of a local Arizona product choosing to play college football elsewhere. And we need to talk about Devin Fitzgerald as well. So Arizona State was originally slated to be in the final six of his recruiting process. He's supposed to come in on Saturday. Arizona State was the only program that never got an official date for him to visit. It was presumed that they were going to figure out a date where he could visit Tempe, but it never came to fruition. He visited Clemson, he visited UCLA, he visited Stanford along with Dalen Sharper, and he visited Clemson. And then he canceled his North Carolina visit. No Bill Belichick in the picture there. And then just out of nowhere came out with his top four. No Arizona State to be seen. Various recruiting services are projecting that he will commit to Notre Dame. So we'll see what happens Saturday, but that is a major, major loss for Kenny Dillingham. There's really no way around that. Devin Fitzgerald isn't viewed as highly as an in-state recruit as a player such as Christian Kirk or N'Keal Harry was, but he could have been the symbol of, I guess, hope when it comes to recruiting in-state in Arizona, because I still personally feel like Arizona high school recruits are vastly underrated by the majority of recruiting services and national media. I think that it's been an issue for a decade now. I mean, look at Brock Purdy. He was a 3-star recruit, barely recruited by anybody. Uh, the I think it's just an issue of just not paying attention. Honestly, like that might be an oversimplification, but I think Devin Fitzgerald is going to be a phenomenal college player no matter where he plays at, and that's just a major, major loss for Arizona State to not acquire his services, because he could serve as a symbol for future Arizona in-state athletes that are considering staying in state, becoming a hometown hero. Son of Larry Fitzgerald, as we all know, there was a lot of positive things that could have come out of that, but it's just not going to be, and we're going to have to live with that. So yeah, thank you so much for coming in today. The last 10 minutes have been a breeze and been a pleasure to talk about the losses on top of the wins, because the future is still extremely bright for Arizona State. But oh, excuse me, sorry. Um, we're going to just have to hang on and see what happens in National Signing Day in December. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I will see you tomorrow.